back to Gaga's kitchen. This time it's sunny California edition. Come on in. So I know I haven't posted an episode in quite a while, but that's because I moved to the big city of New York City. And my family, or my camera guy, didn't come with me. So this weekend, we're in sunny California, and to celebrate, I'm making lemon ricotta pancakes because, you know, Gaga's kitchen is wherever Gaga is. So let's get started. So I will be using my mom's recipe for lemon ricotta pancakes. So of course, for lemon ricotta pancakes, the first step is to make homemade lemon ricotta cheese. To begin, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the stove. If you can't tell, oh gosh. So you can tell I'm becoming a New Yorker now since I don't cook at all anymore. Mom, how do I get the stove on? So the first step, we're going to pour in as much milk will fit into this pan. And I'm gonna lower it. We don't want the temperature to reach above 200 degrees. And I'm just using whole milk here. Okay, so now we're just going to wait. I'm gonna raise this back up to high, and we're just going to wait until it hits about 180 or 200 degrees. Okay, so while this is warming up to about 180 to 200 degrees, I'm going to kind of explain the process here. So once it warms up, we're going to add this stick of butter, okay? And then once that melts, I'm going to add, I have about 2/3 of a cup of lemon juice here. And what the lemon juice is going to do is it's going to cause everything to curdle, which is such a gross word, but that's what's going to happen here. It basically is separating the milk from the whey. And then once that happens, we're going to pour it into this nifty little cheese strainer, and we're going to strain the milk out, and we have ricotta cheese. The milk is now at about 125 degrees, so I'm going to go ahead and add the butter in here so it melts. And then once it hits 180 degrees, I'm going to add the lemon. So this is about half a cup of butter. And as you can tell, this recipe is not vegan at all. Ever since moving to New York, I eat a lot of pizza and bagels and hot dogs, so Gaga's kitchen has changed just a little bit. But today we're making something fresh and creamy and delicious. Oh yeah, look at that butter melting. We're getting close. We're almost at 150 degrees. It looks like about 140 degrees. Oh, woo. Oh, woo. Oh, woo, woo, woo. This is taking a little bit longer than I thought it would to heat up, and I'm getting pretty hungry. But it's going to be well worth it once we get to all sit down and eat together. That's one of my favorite things about being together with family. It's getting close. All right, we're almost at 175 degrees, and once it gets to 175 degrees, I'm going to turn down the heat and I'm going to add the lemon juice in. Now that it's at 175 degrees, I'm just going to turn it down to low and let it simmer. And then now I am adding the lemon juice. And this is where the fun is going to happen. And this is my first time making real cheese, or any kind of cheese for that matter. So we're learning together, remember? Oh, look at it. Oh, nasty. But it sure is gonna taste good. Okay, we're gonna time about 3 minutes is about how long it takes for everything to curdle up and become cheesy. Curdle, curdle. Comment down below if you've ever made any kind of cheese before. I'm curious. I want to know what kind of cheese you've made and how did you do it. All right, so now I'm just moving this into the sink with the bowl, and I'm going to take the corners and I'm going to actually tie this onto the faucet and let it drip out, basically all the, oh crap. Oh! This is why we have a full crew on Gaga's kitchen to help out with things like this. Okay. Be sure not to burn yourself because it does get a little steamy. I think that's pretty secure. All right, it looks like a cocoon. And then we just dump all that buttery sauce out. It honestly smells so good, I can't even tell you. All right, and that is how you make lemon ricotta cheese. And now we wait for it to drain. Oh, perfect timing, my sister. Hey, Juliette, you want to come see how ricotta cheese is made?
Sure.
Voila!
Ew, that looks like a bag of poo. I'm not eating that.
It's okay, she'll like the way it tastes later, trust me.
Is it vegan?
Definitely not. Okay, it's ready. So I've got my backstage guy here, gonna help out with the process. Oh, it looks like mozzarella. Yum.
Let me taste.
I'm just gonna make it a little bit saltier. So I'm gonna add about this much salt. I'm just gonna sprinkle that on there. And I'm just gonna fold it in to the cheese. It really does look like cottage cheese. So, true story, my sister Juliette used to bring cottage cheese to school every single day and all the kids would make fun of her. Because she was an old woman at heart.
People do call me an old soul.
No one's talking to you, Juliette.
Bitch.
Alright, so we're just mixing this in. And now that we have the ricotta cheese, we will be able to go ahead and make the lemon ricotta pancakes. Now, in a mixing bowl, I'm going to whisk together flour, granulated sugar, baking soda, and baking powder. Remember, there's a difference, guys. And just a little bit of salt. First things first, 3 cups of flour. We're just using all-purpose flour. I know in Gaga's kitchen that we normally like to do gluten-free flour, but you know, we're on vacation and my mom bought all these ingredients, so we're going all out and we're doing full gluten pancakes today. So we're gonna do 6 of these. So each one is a cup. 2. 3. 4. 5. And 6. Okay, we're going to do 7 tablespoons of organic granulated cane sugar. Let's count together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 4 teaspoons of baking powder, okay? Remember, powder, not the soda, powder. 4 teaspoons. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, we're gonna do half a teaspoon of baking soda. If I can ever get this open, I'm struggling. Just a little bit. Okay. All right, half a teaspoon of baking soda. So 2 of these. 1 and 2. Okay, and then 1 teaspoon of salt. So we're using Mediterranean sea salt because we like to be fancy around here. I realize this is a little bit wasteful, but all right, 1 teaspoon of salt. Okay, so now we're just going to whisk this all together, and This doesn't look like a whisk clearly because it's not, but I don't have one here, so I'm just going to go ahead and just combine everything together. Okay, so now I'm going to make a well in the center of the flour mixture. So I'm basically just gonna push this down and create a little space where we're gonna end up pouring the liquid in later. Okay, and then this is just gonna go to the side for now. Okay, so now in a separate mixing bowl, I'm going to mix together milk, ricotta, eggs, and something else, but it's fine. We're gonna do it together, so we'll figure it out. Okay, so for this portion, we're actually going to use almond milk in the pancakes just because we already made the ricotta cheese with whole milk. We're not trying to go too over the board crazy, you know, because we do have a long day ahead of us. So we're just gonna go with the lighter option of some unsweetened almond milk. So we're gonna do 2 cups. So, here we go. And with almond milk, actually, you want to make sure you shake it up just a little bit before you pour it in. Obviously, to make ricotta, we couldn't use almond milk, but for the pancakes, it's totally fine. So this portion is vegan friendly, and we're doing 2 cups. So now we are going to do 6 eggs, and we're using cage-free organic brown eggs. So I'm going to crack 6 of these babies into the mixing bowl. Oh goodness. Ooh, we got a shell in there. Where'd it go? It's okay, I'm just going to go ahead and crack these. We'll get it out, don't worry guys. 2, 3, 4. And funny story, my uncle actually used to eat hard-boiled eggs with the shell on it when he was a child.
Ew.
Uncle James. 5 and 6. So I don't exactly know where that shell went, but it will be kind of like a king cake. Whoever gets the shell will be the winner. But if it pops back up later, we'll get it out. But next step, we're gonna take 1.5 cups of the homemade ricotta. Oh, look, and it's still steaming. It seriously actually smells really good because of the lemon. Okay, so there's 1. And obviously, if you don't want to make the cheese yourself, you could buy this at the store. Just use regular ricotta cheese, but we're being adventurous here in Gaga's kitchen. And obviously we're gonna have some left over. So my mom was saying it tastes really good if you put this on toast. There's different things you could make with this. Make some cannolis, etc. I remember what ingredient I forgot to state earlier. It was vanilla extract. So we're gonna do 2 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract. We're gonna add that in with these ingredients. So we've got 1 and 2. Okay, and now we're just going to mix it all together just how we did with the flour mixture. But that looks pretty good, and still no sign of the shell, but I'm sure it will pop up later. Okay, so now just so that we can use this cheese later, I'm just gonna cover it with a tea towel. We don't have any plastic wrap, paper towels, none of that in this house. So I'm just gonna cover it and stick it in the refrigerator. All right, let's get to cooking. Okay, so I kind of messed up and didn't realize that I was going to need lemon zest, so I don't have a lemon zester. Normally we would be adding 4 tablespoons of lemon zest to this mixture, the milk mixture, but we're just gonna have to do without it. It's still gonna taste lemony though, because we're gonna add 1/2 cup of lemon juice, which I would say is probably gonna be about 1 lemon, and then we're also gonna add some butter, melted butter. When life gives you lemons, You make lemon ricotta pancakes. Okay, now we're going to do 2 tablespoons of melted butter. So I love how on these butter things, they always tell you exactly where the tablespoon mark is. Okay, so we're going to do that, and we're going to stick that into a bowl to melt it in the microwave. So put that in here and then stick it in the microwave. And I always like to do things in 30-second increments when melting in the microwave. So we'll check back in 30 seconds. Let's check it out. Almost. I'm going to add about 15 more seconds. And there we go. We're just going to add that in here. And then we're going to mix it all together. And see how it's actually curdling a little bit more. But that's totally fine. It smells really good, guys, I'm telling you. The vanilla, the lemon, the butter. Okay, so now immediately we need to pour the milk mixture into the flour mixture, and make sure you do this immediately. All right, and then we're gonna mix all of that in together. And it is gonna be rather lumpy, that's okay, but just make sure that it's well combined. Oh gosh. Be careful not to get flour everywhere, especially if you're wearing a black shirt like I am. And this is a pretty thick mixture, but that's why these pancakes are going to be just absolutely fantastic. So now we have this beautiful mixture, and before we go ahead and cook these on the griddle, I'm going to bring in my beautiful mother who's going to explain how we are going to make a delicious blueberry compote to serve over the pancakes.
So blueberry compote, it's that easy. You basically get fresh blueberries. I much prefer getting the organic kind because it's just healthier for you and you're not cooking a bunch of chemicals inside your pot, which is helpful. So the round, fat, organic blueberry is what you want. And my daughter is much more skilled at making pancake than I am, but I'm all about the organic. Anyway, so we're gonna get a pot. Somewhere in here, this is a rental house, by the way, so we don't really know where things are. Here it is. A small pot just like this would do it. So I'm now going to take the blueberries out of the refrigerator. I'm going to pour them in the pot. I'm going to put a dash of water. The sink is okay, the water is all right from the sink. And then I'm going to use a fork, smoosh them up, kind of like a mashed potato basically. And I'm going to let them cook at a medium-high temperature until they just sort of become a compote, basically. So these are the organic blueberries. You can find them at your local supermarket. You don't have to go to an organic store because these days every supermarket out there has got organic
Do you
products.
need to wash them?
There's no need to wash them, and that's the beauty of organic. You can just dump them in the pot. It's okay if you drop one on the floor and put it back in the pot because obviously it's gonna cook all the germs away. Just make sure you don't pick up an ant with it, that's all. Okay, we're gonna hopefully do this better here. If you find one that has mold on it, go ahead and remove it, which I think, well, this is what happens when you get organic. You may get a leaf or two, which, once you mush it up. All right, so now we're going to put a dash of warm water. Just like that. And then we're going to put it in the stove at medium-high heat.
What's the other one, Mom?
Like this. And then you're going to take a fork or a mashed potato masher. Where are the forks?
Forks are in there.
Okay. And then we're going to mush it up. Maybe they already have a... No. Yeah, there's not a whole lot in this kitchen. But we're going to mush them up. And you want to kind of keep your distance, especially if you're wearing white. if you get that on your clothes. Oh, I'm having a hard time. And then I forgot to add to this that I'm going to also add a little butter in there. And a tablespoon of brown sugar, especially if the berries are not very sweet. But once you put your syrup on your pancake, you won't really need the extra sweetness anyway. So as you can see, I'm having a hard time smooshing them up. Here's the butter. Thank you, Juliette. So as you mush them down like this, you'll notice some liquid come out, obviously. They're pretty juicy. So I'm gonna just do this a little bit more, and then after that I'm gonna let it cook. And the cooking of the berries will soften them so that I'm able to mush them much better. All right, I'm gonna wait a minute.
So while the compote is cooking, we're going to clean up a little bit. So I've got my dish maid here to do some cleaning for
Hey
me.
y'all. It's important to clean as you go.
So now while the compote is cooking, I'm going to go ahead and start making the pancakes. So I have the heat up on the stove to about medium-high. We'll obviously have to lower it as we go, but we're going to add just a little bit of butter. Butter, I think, tastes the best when making pancakes. We'll let that melt, and then we're just going to cook the batter until it's golden brown on both sides. So let that melt. Alright, and then I'm going to use the half cup scooper to just place a pancake onto the pan. Alright, and then we're going to let that bubble up. Usually I think it's safe to cook it about 1 to 2 minutes on each side. And usually while I'm cooking pancakes, I like to kind of go like this underneath to make sure that it's ready to flip. So this actually feels about ready to flip, so I'm just going to go ahead.
Wow.
Wow, look at that. That is a perfect pancake right there. So, and then usually I'll just kind of tap it down a little bit. So as you can tell, these are going to be extra large and fluffy pancakes. So we'll cook this about a minute now on this side. And the reason why I like to push them down is because I don't like pancakes when they have like raw batter in the middle, and sometimes if you don't push it down, it doesn't cook all the way through. And if you cut to the compote, you'll see that it's coming along quite nicely. Just lowering the heat just a little bit. And then if you go back to the pancake, you'll see all these little air bubbles are forming? That's how you know that it's cooking properly through. So usually medium to medium high, I would say medium is better. You don't want to burn the pancake. But yeah, so this looks like it's about ready to flip again. And then we'll cook it about another minute on this side now to get the other side cooked all the way through. And this, guys, this smells incredible. Let me tell you. And this, I believe, looks about ready. That is a done pancake. So we're gonna put it onto this plate, and then I'm just gonna cover it so it stays warm. And I'm gonna make about 6 pancakes right now so everybody can have one, and then we'll make some more. So, wait, you took my knife.
Woo! Yeah! Woohoo!
Yeah!
Yeah!
Pancakes in the kitchen! Pancakes in the kitchen! Okay, just finishing up the last pancake. Just want to make sure that it's all perfectly cooked through. And you can see it like bubbling up in the middle. That's a good sign. All right, I'm just gonna turn off the heat and transfer it to the plate with the rest. Alrighty. And I'm just gonna grab a fork for serving, and let's go. Here they go. Whoop whoop.
Yay! These look awesome, Gaga.
Gaga's kitchen. Whoop whoop.
Looking great.
Oh, a little flimsy.
Live sheet.
And then we're gonna add a little bit of
I want to add
blueberry
my own Gaga. Like,
compote.
let's not like carry this big
Let's
bowl.
not spill
Let's
it.
bring these to the blueberry.
Go ahead,
See
sweetie.
how these taste.
Here, Mom, I'll give you this one. How does it taste?
To be honest, not much flavor.
Really?
You put syrup
They're
on it.
usually delicious.
Not as good as my Aunt Jemima chocolate chip and sprinkle pancakes.
These are good. Nice and fluffy.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really taste very lemony though.
I know. Did you do the zest?
We didn't have the zester.
That's why.
Well, next time we'll know. Okay, so there you have it. Lemon ricotta pancakes in sunny California. I'll see you guys back in 2 months where we'll be in New York City and things might be a little bit more intense. Bye, guys.